Assalamu alaikum wa
Assalamu
rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban bikum. And welcome to Evening Talk on Tuesday evening with your host. My name is Lukman King. Jazakallah khair for tuning in this evening. Of course, this is your weekly program where we look at some of the most important developments in our political and African, or at least continental, front, as well as on the Islamic finance front. Now, first up, inshallah, we'll be speaking to political analyst Dr. Levy Ndou. We want to talk about the ANC's elective conference that will be happening in December. But of course, this weekend would be, the Gauteng. It will be the turn for the Gauteng province, inshallah. After that, we'll be speaking to Faiza Locke, founder of Voice of the People movement. She'll be talking to us about the importance of grassroots activism, and we hope to get an update on the Cabo Delgado situation in northern Mozambique with the ISS Africa expert there, Borges Namire. Inshallah, we'll be able to get through to him. After which, we break into our Islamic finance segment. And today we'll be speaking to Ustaz Zubair Sakur, and we'll be answering the question about Islamic finance. What is the difference between Islamic finance and conventional finance? All that and more coming up on the program right here on Salam Media. Remember, you too can participate in any of the discussions by dropping us a WhatsApp or on air WhatsApp 9061 7660355. That's 061 7660355. You can tweet us on our social media accounts, that's Facebook, Twitter, and of course the online streaming device, or at least option, is available for you as well. We're going to take a break. When we come back, our first discussion, which is Dr. Levy Ndou, will be talking about the ANC's elective conference in Gauteng that is scheduled to take place this weekend. Stay with us.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
Perform your Kurbani with Sanzaf and earn extra rewards, as 15 Rand from every Kurbani will be given towards the Sanzaf Masjid Waqf. Africa 750 Rand, and locally 1,980 Rand per share. Visit us at sanzaf.org.za or call us on 011 834 6046. Sanzaf, changing lives through development and relief.
There's no smell that takes me back to the comfort of my childhood than the smell of blackseed oil being applied by my nanny. Now I'm using Tib Blackseed in my own home to soothe sniffles and coughs, to help with digestion and immunity, and of course, as part of my beauty routine. After all these years, I've come to appreciate the wisdom in finding comfort and shifa in trusted treatments like Tib Blackseed. You can find Tib Blackseed at all leading pharmacies, or find out more at blackseed.co.za.
Listen to something fresh.
Welcome back to the program. Now, this weekend, the ANC in Gauteng is expected to head to its provincial conference with two main slates. On the one is the education MEC Panyaza Lesufi. He'll be the provincial chairperson. Well, he's vying for the provincial chairperson position. On the other slate is Kokta MEC Lebogang Maile. And whoever of the two wins, they must convince voters in Gauteng to vote ANC in 2024. Now, the Gauteng province is the economic powerhouse of the country and boasts its largest population. It's a crucial province, but if the previous local government elections are anything to go by, the ANC is in serious trouble. They've lost three of the major metros of Gauteng. That's Tshwane, Johannesburg, and Ekurhuleni. And let's find out how this particular provincial elective conference is likely to go with my guest. It's political analyst Dr. Levy Ndou. Dr. Ndou, thank you very much and for joining us, and welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having me this evening. And I want to pass my greetings to all the listeners out there.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Doctor. Dr. Levy, let's talk about the actual ANC's provincial conference that's going to be taking place. We have two major slates. We have the Panyaza Lesufi, who says he's going to bring back Gauteng or to the ANC, or it's going to bring back ANC to Gauteng, or whichever way. And then we on the other slate we have Lebogang Maile. Which one are you leaning towards in terms of a worthy successor of David Makura?
Well, it will be difficult for me to any of the sides. But I think it's important to look at the dynamics that are at play in Gauteng and in the ANC in general. What we have in the ANC is a situation in which they've quite embraced the principles of democracy very, very well. And even though the ANC has embraced the principles of democracy, there appears to be one element that appears to be the enemy of this democratic principle within the ANC. In the pursuit of the practice of democracy within the ANC, you have an element of factionalism, you have an element in which other people will then have to buy delegates in order to vote in a particular way. That is the negative aspect of how democracy appears to be practiced in the ANC. And when you go further, you have a situation where in the ANC, those that would appear to be contesting each other, and I'm saying this because it has got a historical background, they end up not being able to manage their relations beyond a conference. We have seen that happening after the Polokwane conference. We have seen that happening after the Nazareth conference. We have seen that happening in a number of provinces where leaders of the same party, instead of agreeing or understanding that one has actually lost a conference, they end up becoming enemies. What I see in Gauteng are two leaders who are both in the Provincial Executive Committee of the ANC. And we all know that Premier Makura has already indicated that it's not going to be available to continue leading the province. And if I look at the two, both Panyaza Lesufi and Lebogang Maile, they appear not to be prepared to take a compromise in terms of the leadership succession in Gauteng. And both of them eagerly want to become leaders of the province. And that for me might create a situation where we're heading towards the politics of the slates in Gauteng. It will mean that both of them are quite busy campaigning as we speak in order to get sufficient numbers to put one into the office. And if they have to continue with the slate approach, the route that Gauteng might also be taking would be the same route that the slate politics has brought into the ANC when they started contesting each other, and beyond conference, these people are not being able to work together or to still relate with one another. And what I see is that if that can continue to be the case, we are actually heading towards a very disastrous province. My view is that any leader would love to ensure that the ANC still gets sufficient support in the province of Gauteng, must be the very same person who is able to convince both groupings within the party to support the new leadership and then ensure that they actually win the elections come 2024.
Now, Dr. Ndou, speaking about the elections in 2024, we know that the ANC has lost Johannesburg, they've lost Tshwane, they lost Ekurhuleni. It's on shaky ground in the major metros in the economic hinterland of South Africa, which is Gauteng.
Yes.
It's leading a lot of people to think, to think that come 2024, the ANC is probably not going to be as strong as it was in 2019 or in previous elections. How do you read the situation?
It is in the hands of the ANC to save the ANC. It is in the hands of the ANC members to say, now that we're heading for elective conferences, maybe they should be able to sit down, persuade each other, and agree on positions, so that even when they go to an elective conference, they've been able to consolidate all positions. They've been able to persuade each other and agree with each other on who are the people who must lead the province. For me, it is not about who should lead or who should win the conference over the weekend. For me, it is how does the ANC in Gauteng manage succession to in a manner that would lead to a situation where, after the conference, Lebogang, Maile, and Panyaza, Lesufi should be working hand in hand in ensuring that the ANC in Gauteng is united. The route that the ANC might choose to take of contesting each other, knowing very well that beyond a conference, these people will not be relating to each other and their supporters will be seeing each other as enemies. It's a very dangerous route that the ANC has actually taken. And I think it is up to them to say, as Gauteng, we can still be able to work together, move away from this late politics, and build a united ANC. I'm happy you raised the issue of the metros, that Gauteng has lost a number of metros.
Right.
If this conference that they are going to hold now is actually going to entrench factionalism and slate politics, maybe they should not even think of contesting the elections in 2024, because divided as they are actually going, the potential is that they might broaden the divisions within the party, and that is not good for the ANC in my view.
Speaking about the broadening the divisions within the party, we know that the two front runners are Lebogang Maile and Panyaza Lesufi. Panyaza Lesufi on the one side, both candidates have a national sort of profile. They are well known because of Gauteng is a very prominent province. But are you not concerned about some of the news we've been hearing, or some of the incidences where we've been hearing, for example, Lebogang Maile, when he was hauled in front of the SA Human Rights Commission to answer about some of the issues regarding his portfolio, he seemed not to want to cooperate. He displayed some sort of arrogant behavior, even in Tshwane. Even the Constitutional Court even rapped him across the knuckles for what the DA even termed a power grab. So I think if you could perhaps reflect on the character of these two front runners, I really would like to get who your preferred candidate is for Gauteng, though.
Well, I can see you doing your best to put me on the spot. The politics in the ANC, unfortunately, would not deal with the character of a person. Where there is bribery and where there is a buying of votes, the possibilities that the voters and ordinary people would not care about who is supposed to lead them, as long as they've actually satisfied one simple aspect of only making sure that this person is able to win. But if you look at the profile of the two, they both have got a very rich history inside the ANC, that of growing up within the ranks of the ANC. Lebogang Maile has done a lot of work, especially in the northern part of Johannesburg. He's quite dominant within the structures of the ANC Youth League. And I think he feels that it is time for him to ascend to the highest office in the province within the ANC, which might lead him into leading the province of Gauteng. if the ANC does well. On the other hand, you have Panyaza Lesufi, who is generally accepted by most people in Gauteng and outside Gauteng. He is strategically located in a very strategic department where he is able to communicate with both young people and parents on a regular basis. And his appearance in the public space is that of a very caring politician who can easily be trusted by ordinary people. We have seen him doing a lot of work in education. When the people of Gauteng are celebrating, Panyaza Lesufi will be there with them. When the people of Gauteng are in sorrow, you will still see Panyaza Lesufi amongst these people. When there is conflict in different schools, the first person to arrive would always be Panyaza Lesufi. So he stands a much better a chance based on his appearance and how he actually relates with people on a regular basis. And of course, his character is quite totally different from that of Lebogang Maile. But the unfortunate part is that these are not provincial elections. These elections are going to be attended by branch delegates of the ANC who might see things quite differently from the way we actually see them.
So regardless of whatever happens, whoever wins the ticket, whoever becomes the provincial chairperson, how do you foresee this implicating or impacting the CR, or at least Cyril Ramaphosa's re-election as president of the ANC? Is it a done deal as far as you're concerned? Gauteng is definitely going to back the president for a second term, as they've done so in Limpopo and Eastern Cape already.
Well, there are a lot of things that still have to happen. The biggest possibility, even though they're not raising it, is that David Makhura might be heading for the highest office as well, or he might be heading to be one of the top 6 in the ANC. And Gauteng has to lobby other provinces if they want a particular candidate to be elected. With 9 provinces, I think we need to start dealing with numbers. Whether we are going to need Gauteng having to bring in 2 candidates to be in the top 6 or to be in the NEC, or if Gauteng, other provinces are actually going to agree with such proposals. My view is that you need to have, even though a number of provinces have already endorsed Ramaphosa, maybe it will actually be left to other positions that are up for grabs, and having to convince the leagues and other provinces. But as things stands now, other provinces have actually raised their hands already, and if Gauteng joins in, it becomes a done deal for Ramaphosa to continue leading the ANC come December.
I've been asking every political analyst that comes on my show, what do you think about Didi Mabuza? Do you think he's going to retain the deputy presidency, or do you think we can see some spanners in the works to shake things up?
Well, I think my observation is that with most other positions, it has not become very clear, because it will also be determined by how provinces go out and lobby each other. Right. Equally, David Mabuza might still be available to continue as the deputy president, but that will require him to have a very good support, and especially from his home province, Mpumalanga. And the unfortunate part already is that Ronald Lamula, who comes from Mpumalanga, appears to be the most favorite person to become the deputy president. Of course, it will still need or require a lot of negotiations to take place behind closed doors for the leaders of the ANC and ordinary members to come to agreement on who would be the right people to be in the top 6 of the ANC. For me, I think the journey is still a bit far, but everybody is trying his best to position him or herself for leadership in the ANC. Another aspect that we need to look at is that just over the weekend, the ANC Women's League was saying that through Mamluko Kubai, they were saying that they will prefer to have 3 women in the top 6. And that then gives you a much bigger challenge that if already we have Cyril Ramaphosa, it will mean that you only need 2 other males to actually go into the top 6, and the rest are going to be females. So there is still going to be a lot of discussions that have to take place within the ANC, in my view.
Dr. Ndou, as always, a great pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much for talking to us here at Salam Media. We always look forward to your discussions and your deliberations, particularly on the political front. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
You're always welcome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Dr. Levy, Ndou, the political analyst there, talking to us about the upcoming ANC provincial conference in Gauteng, weighing up the 2 front runners, or the 2 people that are on the front runners on each slate. We have Lebogang Maile, currently the cock, the MEC, versus Panyaza Lesufi, the man who, if there's any trouble at any school in Gauteng, before you can say Bob's your uncle, or before you can say Panyaza Lesufi, he'll be there already, and a statement had been issued. But anyway, very, very, very closely watching that one, and of course, this is going to be building up to the ANC's, elective conference in about 6 months' time in December. So it's a road to the ANC elective conference. We've seen slowly, as the Dr. Levy Ndou says, it's slowly starting to shape up. Still early days, but it seems that President Cyril Ramaphosa is headed for another term in office. Okay, that was our politically speaking segment, bringing our time to 24 minutes to 8. We're going to take a short break. Stay tuned.